The helicopter is falling. You have been in the air for 90 minutes, crossing 150 miles of Pakistani airspace in a modified Black Hawk that does not exist on any radar system in the region. And now, 30 feet above the most sensitive counterterrorism target on Earth, the aircraft is falling, and there is nothing you or the pilot or any of the 23 other people aboard can do about it. The phenomenon is called settling with power. It happens when a helicopter descends into its own rotor wash, the downward pressure of its own blades creating a column of disturbed air that the rotors cannot get purchase on. The helicopter becomes, in the pilot's words, a hostage to its own physics. It descends faster than intended. The tail hits the 12-foot wall of the compound. The aircraft goes down hard on the right side. You are inside it. The mission briefing gave you a specific number for how many times the team practiced this operation in a life-sized replica of the compound at Bagram Air Base. 25 full walkthroughs. In all 25, the helicopter did not crash. This is walkthrough 26, and it has not started yet. On May 2, 2011, 23 Navy SEALs, 1 interpreter, and 1 combat dog flew 150 miles into Pakistan without notifying the Pakistani government, raided the compound where Osama bin Laden had been hiding for 6 years, and were on the ground for 45 minutes. One of their 2 helicopters crashed on entry. They destroyed it before they left. Bin Laden was found on the 3rd floor, shot above the left eye. Here is my question before we go through everything that happened between the helicopter crash and that moment on the 3rd floor. The SEALs had done 25 rehearsals in a life-sized replica of the compound. Every detail had been planned. Every contingency had been gamed out. What was the one thing nobody planned for? Comment below, because the answer changes how you think about what happened in that compound. Before the compound, there is a decade. Not a decade of searching. A decade of everything that had to be true before the searching could produce anything. You are a member of SEAL Team 6, officially the Naval Special Warfare Development Group, unofficially DEVGRU, the most classified counterterrorism unit in the United States military. Tier 1, Joint Special Operations Command, the unit that handles the missions that no other unit handles, in the places no other unit goes, against the targets no other unit is cleared to touch. You did not apply to SEAL Team 6. Nobody applies to SEAL Team 6. SEAL Team 6 recruits from the existing SEAL teams. Teams 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, and 10. And the selection is not a form you fill out. It is a pattern of performance across years of deployments that places you in front of a selection board that is looking for something very specific. Not the best shooter in the platoon. Not the fastest runner. The person who is best at thinking correctly under conditions that make thinking impossible. You passed BUD, Basic Underwater Demolition/SEAL Training. The dropout rate is approximately 75%. The instructors are not trying to build the hardest physical specimen. They are trying to find the people who do not quit, when quitting is the only rational choice available to them. The people who can be cold and exhausted and sleep-deprived and in physical pain and still make correct decisions. After BUDS comes the qualification course. After the qualification course comes your first SEAL team. After years in a regular SEAL team comes the DEVGRU selection assessment, which is classified in its specifics and known in its reputation. It is more demanding than anything you have previously done, and the people evaluating you are not impressed by what you did before, because the people evaluating you did the same things and more. You passed. You are Red Squadron DEVGRU. You are 29 years old, and you have done things in the previous 7 years that will not appear in any document that is ever declassified in your lifetime. The compound in Abbottabad is not secret in the way intelligence people mean when they use the word secret. It is secret in the way that a large thing is invisible, because it is too obvious to look at. The compound sits in the Bilal town neighborhood of Abbottabad, a Pakistani military city 35 miles north of Islamabad, home to the Pakistani Military Academy, the equivalent of West Point. It is 8 times larger than nearby houses. Its walls are 12 to 18 feet high, topped with barbed wire. It has no internet connection, no phone line. The residents burn their trash rather than put it out for collection. They have almost no interaction with neighbors. For 6 years, nobody looked at it. The CIA found it in 2010 through a thread that began with a phone call made by a courier named Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti. Tracking couriers is not fast work. The agency had been tracking the courier network around bin Laden since the early 2000s. When one courier made one call from a location that could be pinpointed, the chain of patient work produced a compound. Not a confirmation. A compound. There is never a confirmation. You know this because you were told this in the mission briefing. The intelligence assessment gave a 40 to 60% probability that the man the CIA had been watching pace the compound's garden for 2 years was Osama bin Laden. No satellite image, no signal intercept, no human source had produced a positive identification. President Obama authorized the mission on April 29, 2011. You departed from Jalalabad on May 1st at 10:30 p.m. local time. The aircraft that carried you into Pakistan does not officially exist. The modified UH-60 Blackhawks used in Operation Neptune Spear incorporated classified stealth technology that was, until the helicopter crash, completely unknown to the public and most of the military. The modifications included radar-absorbing composite materials on the fuselage, noise suppression panels, altered rotor blades designed to reduce acoustic signature, and a modified tail section that produced a significantly smaller radar cross-section than a standard Blackhawk. The modifications were so classified that when one of the helicopters crashed inside the compound, the mission's secondary objective, after bin Laden, became destroying the aircraft before anyone could examine it. The flight covers 150 miles. You are inside the helicopter for 90 minutes. The aircraft flies low, varying the route to avoid detection, crossing Pakistani airspace without the knowledge or permission of the Pakistani government. If the Pakistan Air Force scrambles to intercept, the mission has no answer for that scenario. The stealth technology is designed to prevent detection. It is not designed to defeat a fighter jet that has already found you. Pakistan does not scramble. At 12:30 a.m. local time, the compound appears through the forward visibility of the aircraft, and you begin the approach. Then the helicopter crashes. You are out of the downed aircraft in seconds. This is not heroism. This is training. The response to an unexpected event is the same as the response to an expected event. You execute the next step in the plan, because the plan has a next step for this, because 25 rehearsals produced a contingency for helicopter failure, and the contingency is that you do not stop. The compound has 2 buildings. The main house, 3 stories, the 3rd floor where intelligence says bin Laden lives, and a guest house where the courier Ibrahim al-Kuwaiti lives with his family. The courier opens fire from behind a door of the guest house. He is killed. His wife is killed in the crossfire. The team moves to the main building. The front door is sealed. The team uses explosives to breach it. A brick wall behind the door is also blown. The team is inside the main building clearing floor by floor, which is the standard method, the only method, the method you have practiced 25 times, working upward from the ground. On the 1st floor, the 2nd courier and his wife. On the 2nd floor landing, bin Laden's son Khalid, who is armed. Khalid is killed. The stairs to the 3rd floor. You know what you are going to find there. You have known since the mission briefing. You have known since the first rehearsal at Bagram. You have known it with the specific cognitive quality of knowing something and simultaneously not knowing it, because 40 to 60% probability means you have also been holding in your mind the operational possibility that after all of this, the decade of hunting, the months of planning, the 25 rehearsals, the 150-mile flight, the helicopter crash, the firefight, the breach, the floor-by-floor clearing, there is nobody on the 3rd floor. You go up the stairs. The door on the 3rd floor. The bedroom. Osama bin Laden has been hiding in this building for 5 years. The CIA has been hunting him since 1998. The United States government has been hunting him since September 12, 2001. He killed 2,977 people in the attacks of that day, and planned attacks that killed more before and after. He is unarmed. There is an AK-47 and a Makarov pistol within reach. He does not reach for them. He does not surrender. His wife lunges forward and is shot in the leg. He is shot above the left eye. He dies. The entire ground operation from helicopter crash to bin Laden's death takes approximately 20 minutes. 20 minutes. You have been working toward this moment for 10 years and it lasts 20 minutes and then it is over, and you are standing in a third-floor bedroom in Abbottabad with the most hunted person on earth dead in front of you, and 47 minutes total on the ground before the helicopters leave. There is no version of your training that prepared you for the specific quality of this silence. Before you leave, you do not leave. The operational priorities shift in real time the moment the compound is cleared. There is no time for ceremony. There is no time for reflection. The Pakistani authorities are mobilizing. Locals are gathering outside the compound walls. The backup helicopter, a Chinook waiting at the exfil point, is inbound. You have a finite window and a secondary mission that is, in some ways, as important as the primary one. You collect everything: hard drives, flash drives, documents, DVDs, computers, mobile phones, correspondence. The complete digital and paper archive of the world's most wanted terrorist, gathered from every room of a compound that held the infrastructure of Al-Qaeda's senior leadership. What the SEALs found in the compound, the intelligence community would later describe as the mother lode. 5 computers, 100+ thumb drives and DVDs, physical documents in multiple languages, correspondence going back years. The archive would take years to fully process. You also blow up the downed helicopter. The classified stealth modifications on the tail section cannot be left for examination. You set the charges. The aircraft burns. Pakistani authorities will find the wreckage. They will not find what made it classified. 45 minutes after the first helicopter crashed, you board the exfil aircraft. You have bin Laden's body. You have the intelligence archive. You have no casualties. Nobody in that compound said with certainty it was him until the DNA came back. This is the thing the films do not show correctly. The moment on the third floor is not a moment of confirmation. It is a moment of reasonable certainty in a mission that was authorized on 40 to 60% certainty. The SEALs transmitted photographs of the body from the compound. Intelligence officers analyzed the photographs against confirmed images. Facial recognition was applied. In Afghanistan, after the exfil, law enforcement and intelligence officers took DNA samples from the body, blood, bone marrow, and compared them against samples obtained from bin Laden's family members over the previous decade. The DNA confirmed his identity. He was buried at sea from the USS Carl Vinson in the North Arabian Sea within 24 hours of the raid, in accordance with Islamic burial practice, because no country was willing to accept the body for burial, and because the United States government did not want a burial site to become a shrine. President Obama addressed the nation on May 1st, Eastern Daylight Time. Justice has been done. The mission was the result of nearly 10 years of work by thousands of people whose names will never appear in any public account. The CIA analysts who tracked the courier network for a decade. The signals intelligence officers who isolated one phone call from thousands. The pilots of the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, the Night Stalkers, who flew 150 miles into a sovereign nation's airspace without authorization, executed a crash landing without casualties, and flew the team home. The combat dog named Cairo, whose handler was Will Chesney, who has since written about the operation, whose contribution to clearing the compound is documented, and whose capability for that specific type of work is the reason every counterterrorism raid conducted by American Special Operations Forces includes a military working dog. And the 23 SEALs who rehearsed the operation 25 times and then executed it with a crashed helicopter and a compromised plan and found the man anyway. Not one of them was injured, not one. The most successful special operations mission since World War II, the assessment of retired Lieutenant General Terry Scott, was executed in 45 minutes. In the dark, in a country that did not know it was happening, against a target that had evaded the most sophisticated intelligence apparatus in the world for a decade. Retired General Terry Scott said it would go down in history. He was right. You are back on the helicopter. The compound is getting smaller beneath you. The backup helicopter is climbing out of the Abbottabad Valley, and the burning wreckage of the first aircraft is visible below as a dim orange point in the darkness. And somewhere below that, the compound walls are getting smaller, and the third floor is getting smaller, and the man who spent 6 years in those rooms is now in a body bag in the aircraft with you. This is the operation you trained for. This is the operation 10 years and thousands of people, and one 40 to 60% probability assessment made possible. It took 45 minutes. You are 29 years old, and you have just done the most consequential thing that will ever be done in your operational career. And nobody outside the Situation Room in Washington and the airbase in Jalalabad knows it has happened yet. In the morning, the world will know. You will still not be allowed to tell them it was you. That is the job.